special good morning to you, Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome to PSA TV. I'm Avellon Williams. This morning, joining us on set is Inspector Roger Alexander. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning.
Is there any other name I should?
You could call me anything you want.
I know you have a whole...
Yeah. Dark Side, Don Julio, Frank White, Alexander the Fourth.
Roger, how are you?
I'm good.
You're good. So you're ready for us to go through this morning?
Yeah, conversation after conversation after conversation.
How was the journey here?
It was okay. I tried to park in Mr. Duke's parking spot, but my vehicle couldn't fit.
What you came with?
No, 120 wide.
Roger, my first question to you, because I know there's a lot of viewers on this morning who they wanted to hear your side to everything that we have planned for you. What made you join the police service?
Well, I came from a military background. Right? There are some things I will tell you, sorry, and there are some things I will have to.
Yes.
Right? I came from a military background in the sense that I did some service outside, right? And when I came here, I came to Trinidad and Tobago, and I wanted to serve my country.
Right.
And I think the best option that I had at the time was the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, because what impressed me the most is that investigations, I'll tell you why. A man could commit a crime in Point Fortin, and when he do proper investigations, he could be held in Tobago. And I used to look at it and say, wow, policing is a serious thing. And I like that. I like that whole helping the people, giving them that sense of security, giving them a sense that, you know what, at the end of the day, there's someone to stand up for us.
Yes.
Someone to protect us from those who intend to commit offenses or do us harm. And I believe I could stand up and be that person. I thought, I said, you know what, I want to be that person. So I went, and I am that person.
Very nice. Since returning to duties, Roger, what is the treatment like from your peers? Do you still command the same respect as before?
Yeah, I think a little more.
A little more?
Yeah, because you see, the officers understand now, especially now, that they needed someone to stand up for them. And I want to give props to the Commissioner of Police.
Right.
Because he would come out. There are times gone by when persons would make statements about the police, and he would hear nothing.
Right.
Sometimes I alone try to stand up and defend it. But now, here what we do. We listen, we get the information, and then we respond.
Yes.
So the response is timely and accurate. So the public is would be no longer in a position to just say what they want and leave it like that. Because if I say something about the police on the social media, it runs, and people believe. But now we can defend it, and that's what the commissioner does. He defends it in such a way that there's a level of honesty involved in defending it. And police officers like that, they need their leader to stand up with them. This is war, you know.
It is.
The general stands up there,
Yeah.
and he gives instructions. But he doesn't give instructions and stay here, you know. He moves forward with his troops.
What is your relationship with the Commissioner, Gary Griffith?
Excellent. He understands that we're on the same page, you know. I'll tell you why we're on the same page.
So which means you're going to become Commissioner one day?
No. I'll tell you why we're on the same page. When a man is desirous of serving his country and his people, and you have persons with the same plan, the same ideas, it's not difficult. There's no difficulty in the exchanging of ideas, because sometimes you think along the same line, you think along the same page. Yeah? Sometimes you even think that, what the hell, we're reading from the same book. But it's just you wanting to serve your country, and you have a leader who's there standing with you. That is what we need.
Do you think the Commissioner has adequate resources to
Not
deal
yet.
with the crime in this country?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. Because technology has changed the game. And we must get on board in terms of technology. Technology has amplified both policing and the criminal elements. Understand where I'm coming from. The same way we're using technology in order to assist us with the fight against crime, the criminal elements will use technology to assist them from escaping or getting away or doing things in such a covert way that they are undetected. Yeah?
Roger, are you prepared to take the polygraph test? Which
Today. I am prepared to take a polygraph test today. I am prepared to take a drug test now. And
You know you have been accused of a lot.
yeah, that's all right.
know.
That's all right. Let me tell you this, and I'm going to share this with members of the public.
Right.
You're one of the first. When I came to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, after serving a while, I went to the Organized Crime and Narcotics Unit. I, in company with another officer who was accused in the last SOE of being a person plotting to do a particular thing. I had harassed. I was operating in a particular way. I was doing intelligence and undercover operations. I would have encouraged persons to purchase things. I would have encouraged persons to. I would have purchased things. So I don't know if that concept stayed with us.
Okay.
Because persons did not know that we were police officers then. Some police officers knew, but they didn't understand the operational aspect of the section that we would belong to, so they formed opinions. And that I understand. But I am prepared at any time because there's no need to lie. You ask me what? If I ever purchase or sell drugs, yes. And that will be, first I must explain the reason or under what I was operating under.
Right.
In order to answer that question. Yeah? So if that becomes the order of the day, I will answer any question. I am not, listen, you could bring the polygraph test here, you know.
I think we better bring it upstairs.
Yeah, bring it upstairs and we'll have fun. We'll have fun because the truth will be revealed. Oh, before I said I was to say, I swear by Almighty God that what I'm about to say here is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Did I say that? All right, then. Well, now that I said that, everything that I said before was the truth.
Thank you so much. Roger, you ever think about politics, or do you think you will venture into politics one day?
Politics is not my style. You know?
Okay.
I will tell you why. Politics change people. I don't want to change. Somebody asked me the other day, they said, Alexander, how come you was on suspension for 2 years? And then you came back and like you never left. And I said, you know, it's your passion for what you do. I know I did nothing wrong, you know? So at the end of the day, you have to understand sometimes that you will be targeted because of what you do.
Yes.
One of the reasons for persons, and the same thing with the commissioner now, and the commissioner before, the reason you're targeted is because persons want to share a particular light on the police. Not always a good one, but they must have no one to defend it. If there's someone standing up and saying, this is not the truth, because how many times would I brought situations to you that you heard of, and when I brought the truth to you, it's a totally different thing. Nobody wants to give the police an opportunity to speak the truth. They want it to be lies, and they say, yeah, well, you see this happen, and you see this happen, and that's how it's supposed to be. So some people is not impressed that you are coming on an evening, daily, Monday to Friday, and telling persons, listen, you heard this? Well, this is not the truth. The social media has been played with a lot of, according to Donald Trump, yeah?
Yeah.
What kind of news? Fake.
Fake news.
So fake news, and persons run with the fake news. I'll just share this quick with you. Not too long ago, bullets were raining all over the place on the social network. They said that this was happening in Belmont and police was in confrontation with persons.
Right.
I called the radio stations, I said, listen, this is not so. Yeah? This is not so. We must not allow persons, especially now in this political climate, underline the word, political climate, yeah, to be bamboozled by persons who intend to make mischief with respect to the security of citizens.
Roger, with police officers not attending court, a lot of matters being dismissed. What are your views on that? Should they be penalized for that? Should they be disciplined?
Deliberately, persons who absent from court, yes. But let me share this with you also. The time has come for persons to, and I mentioned it to the Commissioner of Police on Monday when he was on the program.
Yeah.
We have some persons who are legal officers, attorney at laws. They need to come on board in terms of prosecuting persons and work as a prosecutor in the court.
Yes.
Right? And I'm saying this now to say this. A police officer is on duty. Last night, a man was working from 6 o'clock yesterday evening to 6 o'clock this morning. He might have to investigate murder. He might have to investigate a robbery. So, do we rest on this investigation to run to court with another matter? You see? And then you have to go back and complete the investigation. Yeah? So, hear what I'm saying? I am saying, allow the police officer to produce his file and present it in court. The prosecutor will do that. And when the prosecutor is ready for the matter to be on trial, then you call the police officer. So you're giving him that leverage to continue his job. And on that particular day, he comes to court, gets it done, and then he's out of the court. There's no downtime, because when I go to court, I go from 9 o'clock in the morning, so I will prepare from 6:30. So he sits in the court from 9, 10, 11, 12, go to lunch, 1, 2, 3 o'clock he leaves. And his matter is postponed at 2:30 in the evening. Downtime. We need police officers on the streets.
Do you agree with police officers taking their weapons home when they're off duty?
Yes.
Could you explain?
All right. A police officer is on duty 24 hours a day. And I am a little embarrassed too, because when the then Commissioner of Police was arming police officers in the community, it was for a particular reason. So they would be the first responders when something happens in the community.
Right.
And I don't know how well that was going, or how well it has gone. But I think they should. With the consultation of other police officers and the association and persons at home, your family and stuff, I see no reason why you shouldn't. Because let me say this to you. If you and I are in a relationship and I'm annoyed and you think a firearm, my firearm home would affect a situation, and I could go and take one on work, say I'm passing home to collect a jersey and shoot you. I hope you understand.
Roger, what percentage of rogue officers would you say are in the police service?
Well, that is difficult. The word rogue sometimes would extend to an officer, but persons don't understand. Take for instance, a man and his neighbor having a problem. His neighbor could cuss him and tell him whatever she or he wants. But if the police respond in the same way, he's a bad officer. He should not behave like that. He should not say these things. He should not say that. But what they forget is that we as police officers came from the same fabric of society that the other members of the public is there. So when you say these things, a man is pelting rubbish over in my premises. I speak to him once, I spoke to him again, and he continues. So we end up by the fence, and he's, let me say, he spit on me or you know something. Am I to humble myself to such an extent where I am a good officer and behave well? Or you think the ordinary man, and this is what we're thinking about, the ordinary man will grab him and say, hey, what are you doing, boy? And he thinks I'm had something in the head. No, be honest. If we're honest here, what would you do? You see, a man is showing me the fist. And this is what I'm saying. Sometimes the rogueness would come because of the behavior of the police.
Yeah.
Now, in reality, there are some police officers who go in too far.
Yes.
And I told the Commissioner of Police, right, this is a contact sport. When I say contact, every opportunity, if I step out right now and I think that you have reasonable cause to believe that you have a firearm, I will search you. So I will touch you. You see? You mightn't like it. You might not have a firearm, and so you say, you touched it before, boy. You feel me up and all these things. You see? You see how it does it? No. When the public hear that, hey, Alexander searched a man down in Port of Spain and he didn't have no firearm. The public didn't know the information that we obtained. So they formed the opinion that Alexander just rough up the man and just search the man like that. And this is the problem that we are having. So rogueness will come from the behavior of police officer and how the public perception of a police officer behavior.
I wanted to ask you what you think about the rise of gang activities in the country, and what do you think could be done to put in place to curb the situation that's happening?
The gang legislation in Trinidad and Tobago has a sunset clause, meaning that as of next year, it will come to an end. Sadly, all we have to show right now for gang, under the gang legislation in Trinidad and Tobago, is some police officer they say. One, you know, right? And this is wrong. I think the gang legislation is not being used in the right way by police officers in order to address some of these situations.
Right.
I think more training, more understanding of the legislation is important at this time in order for us to go forward. Because no small group in any country should have the nation at bay. I cannot see that as being a productive entity. If you involve in gang warfare, and there's a gang legislation, or you're involved in gangs and there's gang legislation available, then use it. Use all the tools necessary to to remove these persons or dismantle these gangs. Yeah? So at the end of the day, how I feel, I also believe, and this might not go so well on your program, but it is time that we, Trinidad and Tobago, put together a team of officers to target individuals who intend to kill persons on our nation's streets and feeling that there is no remorse or there is no consequences for their actions. That's all I will say about that.
Roger, I've engaged in talks with police officers and where they spoke about their salary. They don't work for a proper salary, but yet still they're out there working hard and they're not even compensating if they're injured on a job though. What are your views on that?
Yeah, I am. If you recall, I don't know if Mr. Seals and them told you, first of all, when police officers were shot and killed in the line of duty, I was then the vice president of the Police Service and Welfare Association. And I told them very early, I said, listen, after speaking to police officers and the family, the police officer's family that was killed, his wife was left with a mortgage, the house was taken away, children stopped going to school and all these things. And I spoke to Seals and I want to say that we agreed immediately on this. I said, Seals, listen, this is an opportunity for us to engage the authorities. And I remember, it was said, if I'm not recall, it was said, Mr. Gary Griffith, now Commissioner, who was the Minister of National Security, and he gave us a listen there. And I said to him, so at least $1 million. So that if the police officer family could at least live somewhere, they could always try to eat and drink and go to school. But to live somewhere was I think was at least the most important thing at the time. So I tell him, I said $1 million was ideal. But however, as it stands right now, you have to love this job. Don't come here thinking that you'll make $1 million from it. And if you did, I congratulate you. But don't feel that you could make $1 million from this. We are putting our lives on the line for persons we don't even know and sometimes don't even care whether we live or die. However, we took an oath of office. And when you do that, it means that you have the responsibility to protect and serve persons. And you should do just that.
Roger, I think you need to answer a question here because I did tell persons to send in their comments. One person is asking us, what is the relationship with you and Mr. Ian Allen?
All right. Back in the day, and I want persons to hear this because I know this was important. I know this question would have come up, right? I have no problem with what Mr. Allen is doing. Mr. Allen is doing what he's doing and I am doing what I am doing for the police service. Right? There could be no comparison because he's a civilian. Police officers are allowing him to do particular things that I know will have consequences. Right now, there are some matters before the court that will be thrown out as a result of what he's doing. I'm telling you.
But Roger, you guys were...
All right, let me explain this. If you check something, back in the day when he was around, because I was the then Commissioner, Mr. Philbert.
Right.
Told us that we should align ourselves with him because he was trying to understand what he was trying to do at the time. And when he was around, you could check that if I told him, you see, to stay out there, you have to stay out there. You cannot have a civilian with a camera inside person's home and watching under the bed and all these things. That is not what we're about.
Right.
And on crime scene. So if you're on the crime scene and you're behaving like that, and I am a criminal element, and you're putting me up, the only person who could put up somebody as a person of interest is in fact the police, because we get instructions from the ACP crime to do that. Outside of that, no civilian should put up anybody for any wanted or person of interest, because then he puts himself in a legal battle with these persons because he cannot do that. That is not a police program. And this is what people don't understand. So my relationship was this. We had to do what we was doing at the time. Mr. Philbert had endorsed it, yes. Until he joined the until he started to affiliate himself politically with a particular party.
Okay.
No, I have no problem with that. However, I'm a police officer. I have seen political parties come and go. I have friends in the political divide on both sides. And I don't associate myself. I serve my country, and the government of the day, if they bring legislation before Parliament and they pass, I enforce.
Okay.
But to align myself with any political party for any political purpose is not the intention of the police officer, or any police officers.
So you're saying that relationship is long and gone?
Yeah, that relationship is at the side because, again, we are not about, if persons understand, I don't know if you want me to bring it up here too, there's a lot of things going on, you know, when you see you have a individual who's, say, fighting crime, then you have to understand that there is a compensation to be gained or profit to be gained by what he's doing, and that is not for us. We are serving the people. There's no. If you want to see, if you want to check, as I said before, there are persons who come to us and say, listen, I went there and a man is wanted for maintenance and he said to give him $5,000 to put the man picture and all kind of thing. I said, listen, I am not about a life here, you know. So if you come here with the same thing, we are not about that. $5,000 to put up a picture, $5,000 to give back a man car and shower and then hide it. I am not about a life. We are police officers and we execute our duties in a professional way. There's nothing to, if you have to offer me money to do something that I'm already paid for, but then what's the purpose of me already being paid for it? But I come and do it privately and get paid from you. You see? So persons have to understand that. You have to understand why a man is sitting in a chair for a particular reason and for what gains. Yeah?
You know, I'm sort of baffled. Yesterday I was having a conversation with one of your batch members, Andre Lopez. And you know what stood out when he said, he made a statement, Roger Alexander is a flagship for the police service.
Well,
you know, I was...
let me tell you this. I get police officers, you see this phone? Police officers call this phone daily. We have conversation. I will give a man an advice. Because I'm here long enough to know when, according to Kenny Rogers, know when to hold on, know when to fold, know when to walk away, know when to run. I've been here long enough and I've seen these things. So I see sometimes a police going on a particular part, I will say, hey, you retreat now. It's looking kind of bad. And then they'll call me for advice with respect to certain things. And I will give you an honest advice. If it's not to happen, don't do that. You see? So, flagship, I don't know. I'm just another police officer who's doing the nation's business. A lot of persons have trust and confidence in me. I don't let people down. If I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. There's no money attached here. I do not want anything. I don't drink, I don't lime, I don't smoke. I don't want anything from anybody. That's just me. Yeah? There are other police officers who would want to benefit, but that's okay. That's on you.
What are your views on the influx of Venezuelans that are coming into the country? And now they're saying that, you know, they're bringing their crime here as well in Trinidad.
Okay. From a humanitarian point, I understand, but yet confused. When you say, if something is happening in Trinidad and Tobago, right? Yeah? Then the government of the day must be in some kind of shambles or something.
Right.
And then I see people run. But then in the very early, I look at it and I said, wow, I hope one day we would not have to resort to this and take everything that we have and run. But then while I'm saying that, I'm looking at where these persons are renting and where they're eating and drinking, and some of them where they're driving, and I'm confused now because I cannot afford to live in that residence I'm seeing there, gated and all. So I'm a little confused. However, I understand from a humanitarian point. And with respect to the crime, well, there's some statistics to show that we had about 20-something murders involving Venezuelan nationals, right? But again, you know, we don't want to paint everybody with that brush. But the police must, in fact, national security must look closely at what is happening and then deal with it accordingly. Let me share one more thing with you. There are some persons in Venezuela who involved in some nefarious activities. And the government was looking for them, and we know that. We don't know for sure if they would have seized the opportunity to come here. One of my informants told me not too long ago, he said, remember persons were saying boat turnover and all these things, and I said openly on TV, and I'm still saying this, that was not always the case. Persons would have seized the opportunity to pretend that they no longer exist, but exist under a different name. I hope you understand that.
I want to read a comment here
Yeah.
from Jessica Ramsing. She
Yeah.
said some public officers retire and cannot even get their pension. Some of them even died waiting for their pension.
Yeah,
What
that
is the next step?
painful. That is very, very painful. Let me tell you this, right? And this is one of the things I recommend to, and I was talking to the new president of the association, Mr. Dix. A police officer, and this is how the whole process is supposed to rotate. When a person has about a year again in the service, whether it's a police officer or not, I think they should be taken out of the system and placed in a more civilian kind of atmosphere where they learn to do other things. And during that year, every arrangement should be made to prepare them to get what is due to them. So at the end of the last day, today is the last day this person is part of the system, this evening or this morning, your check is handed to you without delay. Because the year would have given them enough time to get all the sick leave record and all these things and prepare the person to go forward. That, Ms. Lady, I'm telling the person who texted, that is an excellent opportunity to also reach out to your parliamentary person in your area to treat with this situation, because too many times persons die without receiving a cent. And another thing too, and coming from the same incident, because of the stress of the job, persons do not even last enough to enjoy 5 years after retirement.
Is there a law that officers cannot strike or have any sort of marches and protests? And what are your thoughts about that, though?
Well, the police are not supposed to do it. We're not supposed to do it at all, under no circumstances.
Well, they're not being paid properly. They're complaining.
Right. Well, that's why we have something called the Police Service and Welfare Association, who should represent us in a particular way. And with that proper representation, there's supposed to be no protest. There's no reason for protest. There's no reason for demonstration. Because at the end of the day, we are serving the people. If we go and demonstrate and if we protest, then we leave the public vulnerable to the criminal elements, which must not be at any time at all.
They also said that the Police Welfare Association has been very silent. You know, nothing has been coming out of there. What advice would you give to Mr. Gideon Dixon as he's the newly president?
Right. First of all, I will tell him this. Let me just rephrase this. There's a reason, and I said this the other day, there's a reason we have one mouth and two ears. Because we must talk less and listen more. But however, when it's transferred from listening and we speak, we must speak to issues and get the type of response that we're looking for, because we would have said the right things and channel it in the right direction. So what I'm saying to him is this. You have a commissioner of police. You have the association. At no stage or no time must the association be talking one thing and the police commissioner speaking something else. If we meet and we consult with each other, and the association must also realize that this is not a union, this is an association. Everybody will benefit.
Right.
So meet, greet, talk, and then we expose the members of the public or the media. We must not look like we're fighting or exposing our dirty or semi-dirty or semi-dirty linens in the public.
I know you work a lot, 24. What do you do in your
spare time?
Yeah.
Gym, that's all I do. I try to keep it real, you know, you try to keep yourself fairly good. Yeah, that's what I do.
You do know that Mr. Watson Duke is stepping down as president of the PAC and going into politics.
Yeah, I guess so.
What
want
are
me to
you
come here? I could come, if you want to elect me as the president of the
I think you can talk with him though and just, you know, create your own party.
Create my own party, yeah. Yeah, I think so, no. But on a whole, you know, since we're talking politics and Mr. Duke, you know, we need to see about our people. You know, that's what I see from wherever angle you're looking at. See about our people. There must be no creed and race and all these things involved. You know, if we see about our people, then I think we will do well. I think we need to stop bending and giving criminal elements an opportunity to increase their value and worth. Yeah? Because I remember when I went on the Vice News, I said something and a lot of persons in the politics get very angry. And they dismiss him and all kind of thing. When I said to them, I said, long ago, the police used to target persons and they would jump out and go to do robberies and things with their firearms, and we used to catch them. But when you give them contract and legal money, it was difficult for us to do that, because now you see a man driving a big Range Rover or some fancy car, and then he have work because they provide him to do that. And then you give him an opportunity to buy more guns and more cars and all these things and high walls. So it was difficult, and they didn't like what I said, and they became annoyed.
Community.
But then 2 weeks into them being annoyed, Laventille dropped.
Yeah. Community policing, why is it not reintroduced? Because since Gibbs left, it has died though.
Community policing never left us.
No?
No. What we do now, we're doing more target groups, which is sometimes the schools and the younger generation. I will tell you why, because they are the future of tomorrow. And if we could channel them, reshape them, mentor them today, then we should not be having the problems that we're having now. So, we struggle. You know what they say? There's no progress without struggle.
Yeah.
So, we're struggling, but I'm seeing where we are progressing at the same time. So, one of the difficulties that we are having in terms of the community policing is, if you are my son or my daughter, and you come to the community policing group, and we guide you, we shape you, we mentor you, and when you reach home, your parents will tell you, you see me, I have no phone. I have no phone, huh? Anybody in school doesn't have a phone, thief it now. You understand what I'm saying? So we trying to do that, and then you get the instruction from your parents, you're like, well, if mommy tell me, or daddy tell me thief a phone, I think it's a good thing to do. And then what happens? So then we are struggling between that situation at home and what we are teaching in the community policing. And also, we now have to compare with the big gold chain, the money, the gun, and the cars, and the women. If you have a group of men giving you money, giving you a gun, giving you a car, giving you some jewelry down here, zesting up the place, and some women, tell me how your parents, if you were not mentored, if you wasn't taught moral and spiritual values, how these things here, tell me how somebody would want to refuse these things here if you were not properly structured and shaped from your home front. Yeah? So you have your son, 16, 17 years, a man say, boy, hey, of this boy, you see your first $10,000 in your life, you say, way boy, look at money. You say, they take that wet pan, you know, they shoot 2 people, take some gold chain, like yourself, so you're walking also. Yeah, you're driven now because the gold chain heavy because it's a 1 pound. Yeah?
You know, some people do not have faith in the police service. So they say the police officers are involved in some of the crimes that are taking place in the country. I mean, I've been seeing officers alleged rape Venezuelan girls, 3 officers being, you know, what is your view on that though? Should people have their trust in the police?
By all means. Hear this strange thing here, and let me just answer this for you. Persons would make allegations on police officers, right? And it is, you're sure, you're inside. They make the same allegations on politicians, and the politician go about his normal business. He's not suspended, he continues to do his craft and all these things, right? But when the police is accused, we are already convicted by the court of public opinion. And if persons could get that out of their head, remember, allegations could easily be made, you know. I could come here now and you could, as I leave here, you say, hey, and that real touch me up here, and all kind of thing, and they hold me down the road, right? And persons might say, well, I really see you sit down close to her. So we have to be careful with allegations. And when it is placed before the court, then the court will determine how much matters the court have determined in terms of all these things you're hearing about the police. Yeah? So we have to be careful. Confidence. So, young lady, young man, confidence in the police would be an extension of your confidence in yourself. Because the police should not have to stand here to ensure that you do the right thing. The police is not supposed to come here to say, hey, mom, tell your son don't take a gun and shoot somebody. All this is to be done by you. So in the truth and in fact, it's the police who have no confidence in you. Because while we're staying here, no one is standing here, your son is in the back there doing something wrong. Then is who supposed to have confidence in you? You feel me? Oh, you ain't get me. If you ain't get me, tell me you ain't get me.
I understand, yeah.
So I want to have confidence in you. You want to have confidence in me. We must have confidence in each other.
I think a lot of your colleagues have confidence in you.
Yeah.
A lot of them do have confidence in you, though.
Yeah. You see, you try to care about yourself in such a way. Again, we are here. We are humans. We make mistakes. And that's why sometimes you see me talking to some of the guys in the cell. I say, come on, man, you could do better than this. I know you're better than this. What influenced you to do this? And they will tell you. Yeah, so they try to be the model police, they try to be the model citizen. That person's children could come and say, hey, Miss Alexander, what's going on?
Yeah.
I give them a bounce and tell them, come here, you go and exercise, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we're pressing on time, so I'm going to ask you for your closing comments.
Yeah, my closing comments is this. Evidence of the future is in the past. If you want evidence as to what will happen in the future, you have to look at the past.
Yeah.
And we see where we're going from here. We see that gang warfare is destroying our communities. We see that the drugs is destroying our homes. We see that now prostitution, both male and female, destroying families. And if you know all this, why do you get involved in it? Yeah? You have to choose a path that, at the end of the day, what would you want persons to say about you when you're gone? What do you want your children to say about you when you're gone? Do you want your children to say, hey, I want to be like my daddy. I will never forget my father as long as I live. Or do you want to say, you want your children to say, well, me and time, he was in jail, right? True, I know me, I'm in jail. I want to be like you. I want to go in jail too. You see? So you want to leave a legacy behind that you say, at the end of the day, hey, calling him, Roger Alexander, what he would have done? He would have presented himself daily to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and members of the community and say, what you know, trying to make a difference in people's lives.
Somebody's asking me a question here. I'm scared to ask you.
No, ask me.
Oh my gosh, they're asking me if you're married and what is your favorite color? Quick question.
All right, married. A man must marry to himself, eh? And when you're a police officer, you're married to God and government. Right? That answers that question. The next one, my favorite color?
Your favorite color?
I like black. Well, in terms of clothing, black.
Okay.
Clothing, I like black clothes.
Favorite food? Wow.
Right. My favorite food, I like provision and stuff. I like sweet potatoes and I eat the same thing nearly every day. So.
Okay. I think I wouldn't go further with that.
No, you can ask anything else then?
No, I think I wouldn't go further with those questions, yeah.
You can ask me.
I want to thank you so much
you're welcome.
for joining us here at the PSA TV. You're welcome anytime to just let us know what's happening in the police force too.
Anytime. All right, feel free to call. And as I said before, members of the public, you have a choice to make. Do the right thing, because it's the right thing.
I want to thank you so much, Mr. Roger Alexander, Inspector Roger Alexander, for joining us at the PSA TV. We're going to toss a short break. Coming up, we have a special guest in studio next. Thanks so much.